Tom, you want to talk about what happened with Bahrain with that water desalination camp that they had? Yes, Bahrain says Iran had a desalination plant stoking fear of attacks on civilian sites. Tom, why is this so important?
Well, desalination is how they take the Gulf water and convert that to fresh water. It takes a lot of power. It takes a lot of system. General Electric is usually the one that builds these around the world. And when you have money pumping out of the ground, you have all the energy you need to run this. But this is how, when anybody looks at the pictures, wow, Dubai, look how lush, look how beautiful, look how this. They built golf course over there, LIV Golf. They got all these championships, and look at how lush it is and everything. Where'd that come from? It came from the Gulf because they would desalination. And now they don't need to find deep water wells. They have deep water wells, but this is where they get their water so that they have a lush, civilization and a tremendous opportunity to grow and expand for their people. It also is key. And what I said last week was the minute an enemy combatant touches infrastructure for civilians, and there's two. There's sewage treatment, water treatment, so that the sewers are pumping and flowing and there's water coming in. Those are the big two. Electricity, sometimes power grids have backups, you have solar farms. It's not as serious, but it is serious, but it's not as lethal. That they hit this shows that, over the weekend, I think we had the story over the weekend, Pezeshkian said, we're gonna back off. We're not gonna be hitting sites in the small Arab nations. Now, what did he mean by that? The sites he was referring to was U.S. sites. We were hitting a U.S. naval radar. We're hitting a U.S. dock where they can dock their ships. We're only hitting U.S. sites in your area, and if we miss it by a block or two and we hit something, my bad, sorry. Well, he said, we're not going to be hitting those sites anymore. That was on Saturday, Rob, the story was on Saturday. And then Sunday afternoon, they're doing it again. And they hit a desalination plant in Bahrain. This, to me, Pat, is Iran is crossing a line into hitting civilian infrastructure. And I think we need to understand just how big of a line this is that they're crossing with the Arab neighbors. It's like crippling, Bahrain's ability, and it's a partial damage. It was partially damaged, so they say it's still working and repairs are underway. But good Lord, you're hitting the water source for a small Arab nation. You're no longer hitting the port with a U.S. ship or hitting a small U.S. base with soldiers running a radar installation for the Navy. You're not doing it anymore. You're hitting civilian infrastructure.
There's a bigger story here. I think Tom hit the nail on the head, proverbially. So picture this. You live in the desert in a place called the Middle East. In the desert, you're dying of water. You're dying of thirst. You're so confused. You see in the distance this oasis, and you run towards it, and you realize that you're hallucinating because you have no water and the oasis doesn't exist. Now, what happens if there was a way to have water in the desert? Oh my God, what would you do to have that water? Well, there's 3 countries that are leading the way in desalination. Those 3 countries are as follows: Saudi, the UAE, and Israel. You know who's not leading the effort on that? Iran. So at some point, this dam is going to break, pun intended, with the water right there, and they're going to realize in order to survive in the desert with climate change and geopolitics going on and war all around us, we're going to need water. So they call oil what? Liquid gold. There's something more important than liquid gold. That is Maslow's hierarchy of power. You need water to survive. So if you're attacking the life source of water, you're going to have a major problem, not just with your enemies, but with your quote unquote neighbors who used to be somewhat allies. Iran, you messed up big time.
51% of you who watch this podcast, and I've helped us go from a regular show with 20, 30 viewers to now, being a top 20 podcast worldwide on Spotify and on YouTube. It's a top 20, top 15, top 10 podcast. It wouldn't happen without you, but it helps our algorithms if you subscribe as well. 51% of you watch this show weekly. You regularly tune in, 51% of you, but you haven't subscribed. I would like to take that 51% to 40%. With your help, I believe we can pull it off. And if we do that, more subscribers, higher quality guests, better conversations with you. Thank you for doing that.
If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.